4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing, Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchinson.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register, and we appreciate you tuning us in this week. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will have an old friend of the show on, and that being EKU men's basketball coach A.W. Hamilton. The Colonels open the season Tuesday night at home at Berea Arena against Georgetown College, and Coach is here to give us a preview of the season. Talk about a lot of different topics, from joining the A-Sun to season ticket sales to all kinds of good stuff. So hang around for that. He'll be coming up in just a minute. But before we do that, we like to start off the show the way we always started off, with a recap in the week that was in Madison County sports. And on Friday nights, high school football playoffs started all across the Commonwealth, and all 3 Madison County teams were in action. And all 3 Madison County teams were facing ranked opponents in the first round of the playoffs. Here in Richmond, we had a battle of 2 of the top 10 Class A teams in the state. It was number 10 Madison Central taking on number 9 Oldham County. And Madison Central had won the regular season matchup between these two teams 31-15 up in LaGrange a month ago. But the Indians came into this one actually as the lower ranked team, because they had lost 2 straight and Oldham County had won 2 straight. But that didn't really seem to matter too much on Friday night, because it was Madison Central rolling to a 42-9 win over the Colonels. It was a first playoff win for Madison Central in 3 years, and they advanced to the district title game on Friday night to take on Bryan Station. It was Brady Hensley with 20 carries for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Jaden West with a touchdown catch, Travis Grant with a touchdown catch, and Jeffrey Kenley returned a fumble for a touchdown as well. So after the game, we got a chance to talk to Coach Mike Holcomb, who wrapped up a really good, solid, all-around victory for the Indians.
We're back here at Madison Central High School, where the Indians have rolled past Oldham County in the first round of the Class 6A playoffs. Coach Mike Holcomb, that looked like the best performance I've seen out of you guys all year, just all-around performance.
Well, I thought we played awful well, and again, we talked at halftime. Our defensive coaches, Coach Blair and the staff that works with him, those guys do a great job, and they had the kids prepared. I thought we played with a lot of high energy. That's real important this time of year. They played fast and quick and hard, and offensively we got to doing some things that we needed to do, where we could hopefully we can help our running game some by loosening that, being able to throw the ball and loosen it up a little bit. I thought they all played well too, and I thought Hagan was able to do some things throwing the ball that'll help us.
Yeah, like last 2 weeks, the offense was kind of This week, it seemed like everything was clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's been a little stale there. We got going a little bit and got some things going, or being able to do a few different things helps. And sometimes you can go to the well a little too much times on a play or something. So I thought we got back to doing some different things that helped us.
Yeah, and coming off a bad loss last week, you guys really closed that chapter and just kind of threw it away. And this is a brand new season, and you get to go 1-0 every week. And they obviously adopted that philosophy and did just that.
Yeah, we deleted that film last week.
All right. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week at Bryan Station.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, well, thanks, Coach, for taking a minute after the game to talk to us. Central jumped out to a 28-0 lead, forced 5 turnovers, and it was a pretty thorough beatdown against a team that has an 8-3 record. So it was really, really impressive performance from the Indians. After the game, got a chance to talk to Jeffrey Kenley and Travis Grant about the big win and looking ahead next week to a rematch with Bryan Station. All right, we're back here in Tomahawk Valley, where the Madison Central Indians have rolled to a 42-9 win over Oldham County in the first round of the Class 6A playoffs. Travis Grant, Jeffrey Kenley, guys, it seems a little surprising to look at that scoreboard to see that they were ranked ahead of you coming into this game in the 6A poll. A little extra motivation for you guys coming in here, because you're concerned you're already beating them once?
Yes, sir, for sure. We were underrated, and we had a bad 2 past weeks, so we came back and did what we had to do.
Yeah, like Travis said, we've been in a little bit of a slump this past 2 weeks. Happens to everybody.
And then we saw that, and we just let it fuel us because, people have been down us all season, so we let it fuel us and came back, took care of business tonight.
5 turnovers for the defense. Jeffrey, you had 2 of them. Scoop and score there. You had an army of red guys in red in front of you there. You scooped it, and you just green grass in front of you, huh?
Well, yeah, I was coming downhill to make a tackle, and Brady Works knocked it out, and I was shooting the balls right there, so I just picked it up and I took it to the crib.
And of course, you got burned over the middle there, but you hustled back in on another play.
The best in the world.
You hustled back and got the fumble, and you guys got the ball back on that play. Let's talk about that play.
I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of got me on the route. It was a good route by him, but I saw myself catching up to him. It's like I gotta get it back. He can't do it on me, so punched it out and we got it back. Drove down and scored.
Travis, first ever offensive touchdown there, late in the second half there. Kind of what was that feeling like?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just hearing my name on the announcer and saying touchdown. I just saw open grass and I had to get in. I was hyped, man.
Yeah, it was the offense as far as passing game has kind of struggled at times this year, but that was the best it's been all year, and you guys really looked great.
Yep. Coming out rolling. Coach Holcomb's got a plan. He's been here before. He's done this, so we're going to trust him and do what he says.
All right, well, Station beat you guys here a couple weeks ago. Now you get to go up there for the district championship game, so get a little chance for payback.
Oh, yeah. Got the rematch we want. They're a good team, but, we were right there last time we beat them, but this time, looking to get that revenge on the road.
All right. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Jeffrey and Travis, for taking a minute to talk with us afterwards. Hagan Harrison, the quarterback for Central, was 6 for 10 with 2 touchdowns, 156 yards passing. And like the guys said there in the video, it will be Madison Central and Bryan Station for the district championship game, 7:30 Friday night in Lexington. That game is in Lexington because the Defenders beat Madison Central 3 weeks ago here in Richmond. So it'll be a big game up there, back in the district championship game for the first time since 2018. Other games from Friday night, Madison Southern had suffered a 56-20 loss to Woodford County a couple weeks ago in Berea, and they had the unfortunate assignment of having to go over to Woodford County on Friday night and try to knock off the undefeated and number 2 ranked team in 5A football. We've talked about it all year. Madison Southern just shorthanded with a lot of injuries and stuff. Their kids always battle so hard, though. This was only a 21-0 game at halftime. But the Woodford County Yellow Jackets were able to pull away for a 36-7 win in the opening round of the Class 5A playoffs. Stephen Whitehead scored a touchdown in the final seconds to get Southern on the board. They will finish the season, the Eagles, at 2-9, and of course that is the last game for John Clark as the head coach at Madison Southern. He had announced a couple weeks ago before the game against Franklin County that he was stepping down as the coach. So he finishes with 66 wins in 11 seasons with 4 district titles and a region championship and, of course, a state runner-up as well. Interesting fact about that game, the Stephen Whitehead touchdown there at the end of the game kept a streak alive of 87 straight games in which Madison Southern had not been shut out. Madison Southern has not been shut out since the 2014 season, so late touchdown kept that alive. But Woodford County moves on to the district championship game and will face West Jessamine. And for the 3rd straight year, Berea Community had to make the trip to Louisville to take on Kentucky Country Day in the first round of the Class A playoffs. And the last couple of years, that's not been a very nice trip to make, and it wasn't this year either as well. 3rd straight season, Kentucky Country Day beats Berea in the first round of the playoffs, 57-22 this time. Jaden Cunningham with 2 rushing TDs and Yamel Cruz with a receiving touchdown. Berea finishes the season at 4-7. Of course, remember they were winless last season. Frank Parks Jr. comes in and makes some real improvements, and they go 4-7. Unfortunately, this game got out of hand really quickly. It was 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, and there was a running clock in the second quarter when KCD took a 36-0 lead. So KCD goes to 9-2 on the season. They'll take on Eminence next week in the district championship game. And like I said, Berea finishes off a really good year at 4-7. Moving on to EKU football, the Colonels headed on the big airplane on Friday afternoon and headed down to Natchitoches, Texas for what really was a very, very important conference matchup for both the Colonels and Stephen F. Austin. If you look at the AQ7 standings and the rankings and stuff, this was a really important game for both teams, not only to stay in the hunt for a conference title, but also to try to get an at-large bid to the FCS playoffs. And unfortunately for the Colonels, they got off to a slow start, got down 14-0 early, and it was Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks, picking up a 31-17 win over the Colonels. And it was a couple of interceptions from Parker McKinney, especially one early that led to a score. And Xavier Gibson for Stephen F. Austin had 3 receiving touchdowns. Lots of things just didn't go right for the Colonels in this game. And one of those was they had 118 yards in penalties, were flagged 11 times. So that was really put them behind the sticks. And this is a team, they were down, EKU was down 17-10 at halftime on Saturday. And this is really a team the Colonels have not played well against the last 2 years. Interesting fact, the Lumberjacks came to Roy-Kit Stadium last season and picked up a 24-6 win, and of course picked up the 31-17 win on Saturday down in Natchitoches. But in the past 2 years, EKU has had 27 possessions against the Lumberjacks and only had 5 scores, 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And the Lumberjacks are the only FCS team in the past 2 years to hold EKU under 20 points, and they've done it twice. So this leaves EKU at 6-3, 3-1 in the AQ7. Stephen F. Austin is now also 6-3, but they're 2-2 in the AQ7. And the standings are obviously very top-heavy in the AQ7 with Sam Houston State, the defending national champions, sitting there undefeated at 4-0 and number 1 ranked in the country. Then EKU at 3-1. Central Arkansas at 3-2, and Jacksonville State and Stephen F. Austin both at 2-2. It's yet to be determined whether this league will get 1 at-large bid or 2 at-large bids, but the next 2 weeks will be huge for the Colonels if they want to get back into the postseason for the first time in 7 years. They go to Sam Houston State this week, so back on the plane, another long trip to Texas, and then back at home to wrap up the regular season against Jacksonville State. So those 2 games will certainly have a big impact on postseason possibilities for the Colonels. McKinney was 30 of 50 in this game, in the game on Saturday, for 273 yards. He had 1 touchdown pass to Matt Wilcox. Braden Sloan, the kid from Wayne County, had a touchdown run. And the Colonels just couldn't get much going offensively, especially on the ground. Parker McKinney had 100 yards rushing, but their leading rusher, DeJohn Hewitt, had just 11 yards on 6 carries. And tough sledding for the offense for EKU. So back in action Saturday, 1 o'clock at the number 1 ranked Sam Houston State. Well, on Saturday also we had college basketball action to talk about. The Berea College men's basketball team opened its season at home at the Seabury Center against Sewanee. And the Mountaineers trailed by as many as 15 points in the first half and were down 7 at the break, but stormed back to pick up an 84-73 win in the season opener. It was Quay Charlton, the former Madison Central star, with 22 points and 7 rebounds. Trey Minter with 22 points. Isaac Cauda with 20 points and 6 rebounds. And Kavion Hudson with 12 points and 6 rebounds. Berea College shot 50% from the field in the second half to spark that comeback and go to 1-0 on the season. They'll be back in action on Tuesday at Alice Lloyd. The Berea College women's team will open the season on Tuesday with an exhibition game at Lindsey Wilson. They will open the regular season next Saturday at the Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. Of course, Lady Mountaineers did not play last year because of the pandemic. The players voted not to have a season, so they'll be back on the court for the first time since they were in the NCAA Division III national tournament 2 seasons ago when they take the court on a Saturday. So a couple of local kids there. We all know Bailey Vanover from Madison Central is still playing there, as well as Jakari McKeithen from Madison Central is also on that team as well. So we'll keep you updated on all of that action. So let's talk about the EKU volleyball team, folks. The EKU volleyball team, obviously first year in the Atlantic Sun after being in the OVC for all those years. In the preseason ASUN conference poll, they were picked dead last. I mean, dead last out of 12 teams. Well, surprise, surprise, they have way exceeded expectations. And over the weekend, they picked up 2 wins at home, which clinched them a spot in the ASUN tournament in their first year in the league. Now, they are 9-20, 6-9 in the ASUN. They beat Central Arkansas on Saturday to clinch the number 3 spot in the Western Division, which earned them a spot in the ASUN tournament. So here's a little clip of the final point. It was a 5-set victory over Central Arkansas on Saturday. This is our buddy David Miller from EKU on the call for ESPN+.
6 digs. There's another one. Sydney Shane, 1,000 digs for Eastern Kentucky, and Molly Mihalik has to.
I love the enthusiasm David always brings to the broadcast. So it was a great win for those young ladies over there. And of course, on on Friday, they were at home against Lipscomb and were down 2-0 and came back and rallied for a 5-set win as well. So it's been a remarkable turnaround. And just earlier this week in the Richmond Register, if you check it out, we have a copy of it right here. Shameless self-promotion by us here, but we had a feature on Sarah Mitchell, who's a Madison Southern grad. And she is, from what anybody can tell, she's the first Madison County player to ever sign to play volleyball at EKU and to actually play there. And she has had a tremendous impact on this team. It's her second season. But on Saturday in the conference tournament clinching win, she had 24 kills and 13 digs. And she's been a big part of their success. So that's on richmondregister.com if you want to check that out. Sarah's a great kid. We're hoping maybe we'll get her on the show next week to come in and talk about that. But the Colonels do have one more regular season game. They will take on Bellarmine this Saturday at home, and that'll wrap up the regular season. And they head to Fort Myers, Florida for the A-Sun tournament. So not bad for a team that was picked dead last in the preseason poll. So congratulations to those young ladies and to everyone associated with that program. So. In just a minute, we'll have EKU head coach A.W. Hamilton on, but real quick, we just want to let you know they opened the season at home on Tuesday night against Georgetown College. But it is a very busy first week for them. They're also at home on Thursday night at 8 o'clock versus Ohio Valley University, and then Saturday they make the trip up to take on the University of Milwaukee. The EKU women's team will open the season at home Thursday against Transy in a doubleheader with the guys, and then they go to Northern Kentucky on Sunday. So got you covered there. So lots of good stuff going on. So looking ahead this week, district championship game, football, Madison Central and Bryan Station. I think me and Randy will be out there tailgating it up before the game, so stop on by and say hello. EKU with a big trip to Texas to take on the #1 ranked team in the country and a really, I don't want to say must win, but it's a much needed game. If they could pull off that one, they would almost certainly guarantee themselves a playoff spot. EKU basketball starts, men's and women's, so lots of great stuff going on. So we're just blessed to have the opportunity to sit here every week and tell you all about it. So, as always, check us out on our social media sites, Richmond R Sports on Twitter, Register Sports on Facebook, and richmondregister.com. We always have lots of good stuff in the paper on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so check it all out. So here in just a minute, we'll be joined by A.W. Hamilton.
Do you want to sponsor the weekly Richmond Register Sports Show? Contact the Richmond Register, richmondregister.com, and, of course, on Facebook or Twitter. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.
Good morning. I'm here with Malachi Woods, presenting him with his 4th IHOP Pancake Block of the Week for his game against Southwestern. And as always, free pancakes for his 4th year and a gift card for his friends and family. Congratulations, Hayden.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing, Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
Welcome back. We are joined by our old friend, A.W. Hamilton, EKU men's basketball coach. Thanks for being on, man.
It's great to be back with you.
I know. It's been almost a year and a half.
I think I was part of the last show.
Yeah.
Like the last show before the new shows.
Yeah.
Whatever, however you say that.
March of 2020, I guess. Because that was a long time ago. But I mean, a lot has changed since then. I mean, even a lot has changed just since you guys played your last game. You obviously left the OVC, joined the A-Sun. We've had players come and go. But I think the one thing that has not changed is the level of excitement around this program. Season opens Tuesday night at home, and there's just a buzz around everybody. I think what you guys have accomplished in the past few years has just spread like wildfire, and people can't wait to see this get things going again.
Nathan, I get excited to talk about the core group of guys we got coming back. I know you and I have talked about the transfer portal, and we can talk about it for a second. But I love the core group of guys we got coming back. So we got 3 starters and our most improved player. So when I talk about the 3 starters, we say Michael Marino, who's a second-year team captain, who's going to be a sophomore again, so he's going to be here forever, which is exciting. And, so I tell people there's 358 Division I teams. Everybody gets 13 scholarships, so there's over 4,600 Division I players in the country. He was second in the country in three-point field goal percentage last year. The jump he's made from when he got here to where he is now shooting the basketball is unbelievable. And then I look at Cooper Robb, who last year was a starter for us. He's been voted team captain. He led us in steals. He was second in assists. But he's become a better leader this year. He's taken more ownership of the team. So I'm really excited about Cooper, and he's shooting the ball much better. He's shooting the ball like he shot it in conference play. He's doing that consistently now. Now, probably Tuesday night he won't make a shot, but
he had a rough shooting year last year, but he was absolutely lockdown defense and he's a total team player and
incredible defender. Yeah. And almost Nathan has almost like his own defensive rules. Like there's things he does on the defensive end. I'm like, we didn't teach him to do that. Like I don't even know how. And I'm like, just let him keep doing it. Yeah. And then Kurt Lewis. Kurt Lewis will be a freshman again, and I thought he was sensational last year. I thought he was an all-conference player, and the play that just sticks out in my mind, and I know you and I talked about this at Media Day, is when he got the steal versus Belmont. He does a front roll, keeps his dribble going, and then gets an and one reverse layup. Yeah. And we got those three guys back, and then Tay Blanton, who emerged for us at the end of the season last year, is taking a huge jump. I mean, a huge jump. Like, he looks like a different person, and our fans will see that on Tuesday night when they see his body and how he moves and how much more explosive he is and how much more confident how more confidence he has in himself. So I'm really excited about that core group. And then you can talk about Tyreek, because Tyreek's done some great things since he's been here. He changes shots, and then Rashad Cruikshank. I mean, it seems like he's been here forever. He's been a starter. He's come off the bench. He's hit big shots for us, and so I love that core we got coming back. Yeah, and so we talk about Media Day, and we had some Lexington media folks, and I guess I think the fellow was a new guy, but he talked about everybody had these shirts on, and you always talk about this being your brand, and he really didn't understand. He's like, well, what does that mean? What's your brand? And this is what defines you guys. I mean, this is 40 minutes nonstop. Go, 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 and it's the pace, and people, the crowds love it, the kids love playing in the system, and that your style, that's what drives this whole machine. Yeah, so when I got here, I really believe this, Nathan. I think any great program, organization, whatever it is, I think you got to have an identity and a brand. Mm-hmm. And our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports, and our fans have fallen in love with this. It's hard for our players because we challenge them. I was like, hey, you got to get in the best shape of your life. Yeah. And that doesn't come easy. And that means we do a lot of running and our preparation to get to where we need to be. And we're not even close yet. And but since I've been here, we broke 18 school records, and which is incredible. We've been playing basketball at Eastern Kentucky for 112 years. Mm-hmm. Well, this will be our 112th year. So, and then the excitement is we challenged our fans before we play our first game this year. Let's break our 19th school record. In 1982-83, Max Good was the coach, and they set the school record most season tickets sold in a single season. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're right there, man. I mean, Nathan, we're right there. We're right on this. So it's Sunday night, and if you haven't got your season tickets, please get your season tickets because, we're on the verge of breaking our 19th school record. So, we're still in the pandemic, and people are excited to get back in the Alumni Coliseum, and they want to be part of this school record. Yeah, no, it's... Trust me, folks, it's exciting. Every game, the one I always think back to is Moorhead last year. You guys are down by 18 at one point. You're down by 16 at halftime. And you guys just keep doing what you're doing. And in the first half, they shredded your press. Just shredded it, layup after layup. But you guys don't change what you do. You're going to wear teams down. You're going to outwork teams. And you came back and you won that game. And that to me, kind of personifies your whole system and your whole style of basketball. Yeah, I told people when I got here, there's going to be times when you look at me like I'm absolutely insane. And man, you've talked about that. You even asked me questions after the game and make them remind me. But there have been a few games it's like, wow, that didn't work. But Belmont a couple of times, it shredded you pretty good. But that's what we do. We want to wear teams down. We want to go on 3 separate 6-0 runs. We called it our defensive trifecta. Yeah. When we do that, last year we were 17-4. Mm-hmm. So we constantly want to put pressure and pressure and pressure, not just on the defensive end, but on the offensive end. Yeah, it's not that you guys can't play half-court defense and you can't drop into a zone if you have to. You guys obviously are capable of doing those kind of things, but this is what you want to do
99% of the time.
That's it. I mean, we may actually play a little more zone this year, though. Speaking of zone,
yeah,
because we got great length, and with our zone, we'll play a little more of a pressure zone. So I'm excited to kind of sprinkle that in a little bit more. Yeah. And you'll be happy with me every now and then.
I love it. It's you never know what's going to happen when you go over to Berea. I mean, it's so exciting, and no lead is ever safe. If your opponents come in there and get a lead, it's never safe. And it seems like every night somebody else steps up for you guys, and it's not a one-man team, and it's such balance. And you get kids that want to play in your system and are happy doing that, and they're not.
Everybody says, Nathan, they want to play fast. Like if you go talk to a recruit and you say, okay, what type of system do you want to play in? And they're like, oh, I want to play fast. I want to play like they play in the NBA, an NBA type of offense. And then we actually really do that. We run a pick and roll offense. We spread the floor. We shoot a ton of threes. We were second in the country in possessions last year. We were number 2 in the country in tempo. We get 74 possessions a game. So I got to remind my guys, hey, all of them, I got a lot of guys that want to be a point guard, which I love guys who want to be a point guard. I'm good with that. Yeah. I said, okay, if you get the defensive rebound, you get to be the point guard. So it's go get a defensive rebound. You can run point all game.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good incentive. Yeah. Okay, well, like we said, a lot has changed since that loss to Morehead State in the OVC semifinals last year. They did have 2 all-conference guys leave, and, of course, there's been a ton of movement across college basketball. It's not just here. It's in almost every school in America. So I think it was Mark Story at the Herald Leader who kind of coined this phrase that you have to now re-recruit your own team every year. And so you had to do that. Got to give Mark credit there for that. But so you have to – this offseason you had to basically re-recruit your remaining members of your team to try to – keep them here and in your philosophy, and then fill those spots that were left. And you went out and got a lot of really good players and a lot of guys that have connections to you.
Yeah, we didn't want to get into a situation where we had to rebuild. We want to reload because we had a great core group of guys coming back that hate the transfer portal, that want to be here forever, and that really are excited about Eastern Kentucky basketball. So then we were like, I was sad, and I know you and I talked about this. I was sad because I love my guys. I love all of them, and I remind them that all the time because we go. But we had if there is the transfer portal, we got to be really good at the transfer portal. Yeah. So we said, okay, we got Braxton Beverly, who's been a 4-year starter at NC State, scored 1,000 points. One or 2 players that score 1,000 points, have over 300 assists, hit over 200 threes, have over 100 steals in NC State history. So we get Braxton. We get Trevin Wade, who I love Trevin Wade, who we signed him 2 years ago, and then he got out of it and goes to Wichita State. So we get him back, and Trevin is going to be special for us. Trevin fits our system so well. I mean, he is an elite on-ball defender, and he can really push the ball up the floor. And then we get Jansen Williams from Marshall. He was a 4-year starter for Marshall. Marshall's all-time leader in block shots. That's not bad. Yeah. Helped Marshall get to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1986. And then we get Iron Bennett, who also from Marshall, who averaged 9 points and 5 rebounds in the Conference USA. So we love the guys we got. And what we did is, now, Nathan, we got an older team. Our average age is 23 years old.
Well, it's just because Braxton's dragging you down. He's like 35, isn't he?
Yeah, well, how about on media day somebody asked how old he really was?
Yeah. He played in the Sweet 16, 10 years ago?
Yeah, but I had to remind him.
He was like a 7th grader.
He was in the 7th grade, and I think he scored 20 points in that game.
Yeah. But yeah, you're definitely an older, more experienced team. And a lot of people, you look at the prognosticators, and people think you're better on paper, which is amazing to think you lose 2 first-team all-conference players. You bring in a new crop of guys, and you may be better than you were before.
All right, so
of course you have to prove that on the court.
Yeah, and this is what I'll remind people. We've got a chance to be better. We're not going to be better on Tuesday night. It's going to take us time. These guys got to build game chemistry with each other, and I can't do that in practice. So we have our ceiling is higher. I love the depth we got. We got more depth than we've ever had. I mean, I got 13 guys that can really play. I mean, like you talk about Deshaun Jackson from Frederick Douglass. Yeah. Wow. That kid is – I told him yesterday, I said, DJ, I don't know how much you're going to play right away. I have no idea. I said, but you're going to be a star here. I mean, he's going to be that good for us. And, I love Michael Wardy. Michael Wardy reminds me of Lachlan Anderson, just a high motor, plays above the rim. So I love the depth we got. We can play faster. We can press more. We can be a little more aggressive in our press. Like I told you, we're going to have when we play zone, we'll have a big zone, which excites me a little bit. So, we got a chance, and, it's my job. I got to figure that out and put the right pieces together, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, and of course, for fans, we're so used to Austin Peay and Tennessee Tech and Murray State and Moorhead, and now it's a whole different animal. So obviously Liberty has been the best team in the ASUN for a couple of years, so kind of give us a scouting report on the rest of the ASUN. Of course, Bellarmine came up from Division II last year, had a really good year. Of course, they were a national powerhouse at the Division II level. I think Stetson has a lot of their people back. Florida Gulf Coast has been in the NCAA tournament recently. Of course, they're Dunk City down there. So just kind of give us an overview of the ASUN.
So I'll say this about the ASUN. So if you look at the NCAA tournament, the selection committee, they've given the ASUN a lot of respect. Liberty's a 12 seed. Moorhead last year was a 14 seed. And then you look at the ASUN, and I look at the league and I say, man, there's a lot of great coaches. I mean, you talk about Stetson. Donnie Jones is a heck of a coach. I mean, he was a head coach at Marshall, Central Florida. He's got a great group of guys coming back. I mean, the coaching in this league is really good. Lipscomb is phenomenal. I've watched them on film a lot. Scotty Davenport, he's been doing it forever. Scotty's a Kentucky legend over at Bellarmine. So they'll have a good team. They do a great job executing. And then Liberty is Liberty. They're picked to win our league. They should be picked to win our league. And I don't want to forget about Jacksonville State. I love Ray Harper. They do a great job, and they got everybody back. So it's going to be a tough league. I think our fans are going to enjoy this league, though. A lot of teams shoot a lot of threes. They get up and down a little bit more in this league than they did in the OVC. So it'll be exciting. Yeah,
Jacksonville got to the They got to the semifinals of the OVC tournament last year, right with you guys. So they played. They played in the game, the other semifinal, right before you guys. So they're coming in. Of course, Austin Peay will come in next year, which will make the league even tougher. Of course, I won't miss Belmont personally, but that's okay.
Well,
it's good programs, though.
They do a great job.
But Lipscomb is kind of similar to Belmont. I mean, obviously both right there in Nashville. They both had success, 20 wins a year. I mean, so it's apples and oranges, but still two really good programs.
Yeah, no, it is. Wait till you see Lipscomb's a big guy. Woof. He's an NBA player.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys are bigger than last year, right? Even without Trey Cain.
We're bigger. Even if you think about Tyreek, he's bigger and stronger than he's ever been. I mean, he looks like he ate somebody else. I mean, he's really bulked up. John Mike, our strength coach, has done a phenomenal job. And then you got Jansen Williams, who's an unbelievable shot blocker. And then you got Iron Bennett, who's just massive. He's 6'9", 315 pounds, and he's got light feet. So, we're bigger. We're going to be able to guard the post better. That's been our weakness, just guarding one-on-one in the post. We haven't been good at that, since the day I got here. And that maybe it's probably more me than anything, but now I got some guys that'll make me look a little bit better in that area.
Yeah. All right, well, Georgetown College on Tuesday, Ohio Valley University on Thursday. Isn't that weird? You leave the Ohio Valley Conference and you play. You've played Ohio Valley University before, though, but it's just kind of odd that that's the name of the school. But and then after that, what's up after those guys?
So then we go to Milwaukee, and then we got the following Tuesday, James Madison at home, who's really, really good. All these teams are good. So we got a challenging schedule. We play 17 home games. So you can get a season ticket for $59. That means for $3.50 you can come watch a game if you just get the season ticket. It's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, and trust me, it's fun in there, folks. You can get a beverage if you want now and enjoy yourself. And are they going to have those seats back on the floor again like they did?
Yeah, I think floor seats are back.
Okay, good.
Floor seats are back.
Yeah, that was always a lot of fun.
Those
people are rather interactive down there.
They get excited, don't they?
Yeah, they enjoy themselves quite a bit, and it's fun to watch. So even the media, they stuck us up in the corner last year, and so we weren't even on the floor.
I think you're back on the floor.
So hopefully we get it back to normal. So. But obviously, still, like I said, a lot of excitement. And he can't talk about it, but if you go on Twitter and look, there was a nice commitment the other day as well, but he can't say anything about that, so I'm not going to get you in that. But a very big commitment that the Colonels just picked up. So you didn't hear that. I didn't say that. I don't want to get the NCAA in trouble on you, but if you go check it out on social media, it's out there. But a very big pickup for the Colonels. So there's just really excitement about this program all the way around.
Yeah, and listen, I want to say this: I got an unbelievable staff. They do a great job. They work around the clock for me, and not just for me, but for our players, most importantly. And they've done a great job recruiting, helping me develop these players. So this is an exciting time for EKU, and we look forward. Like we got to keep moving the program up. You know, that's we got to keep getting better every year, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and hopefully I don't want to say any be negative or anything, but hopefully in the future we can get Murray and Moorhead back on the schedule. And we're not on there this year, but people just love those rivalries, and those games are so intense. And if we could get those games back on the schedule, and maybe some wounds will heal soon, and we can get those teams back on the schedule.
And I'll say this: we still got Western, and that's going to be a great game, and they still got to come back to us. And then we got Northern still. We got that series going. So those are two great series we have, and we'll work on the other ones.
Yep, and Bellarmine too, and out with them in the league. So, and State, and that'll be interesting too with how that goes forward, because you've gotten a lot of good kids out of Louisville, and now you'll be competing against them for kids. So that'll be interesting dynamic about how all that works out. So
we got a good one out of Louisville, didn't we? Kurt Lewis,
yeah. Well, you always say most underrated kid out of Louisville in the past 10 years.
Didn't he make me look smart?
Yeah.
But I really believed it in my heart, and I tell him that all the time. But he could be a player of the year. He could do it all. He can do it all. It's just he's got that special gift, and he's just such a great young person too. Like if you ask anybody that's around Kurt on a daily basis, they would say the same thing. He's just a phenomenal young person.
I love the kind of the swagger he had at the media day when they asked him about being picked second, and he's like, "Well, I think we're the best team." I was like, "I don't care who they pick. We think we're the best team." That's what you want your kids to believe. I mean, obviously, you don't want anybody to go, "Yeah, well, we're not very good." But no, I mean and they believe that, and that's what they want, and you want to come into the new league and make your mark and do your thing.
But I had to remind them we don't deserve to be picked number one. We haven't earned that. I hope one day we earn that, and then when we earn it and we're picked number one, then
Well, he wasn't too boisterous about it. I mean, he wasn't like kind of over the top about it. They just asked me, said, "No, we think we're the best team." And so there's a confidence there. And
you love confidence, you love swag, you know.
As long as it's not arrogant. I didn't catch any sense of arrogance from what he said or anybody said. That's the thing. And Braxton Beverly hasn't played a game here yet, but I already feel like he's like beloved by this fan base. I mean, people just have flocked to him. And of course, like we joked, if you follow Kentucky high school basketball, you've known him forever. So I guess people kind of feel like they knew him, and when he went to NC State, people followed his career. But I think people have just gravitated toward him, and they're really looking forward to seeing him out there too.
Yeah, he's got a great passion for and appreciation for just being back home, and being back in Kentucky and being around his family and to be able to finish up his career at Eastern. I mean, that means a lot to him, and so I'm excited for him to hit the floor. I'm excited for the fans to really see him and see how he plays. He plays the game the right way. He makes the extra pass, and he can really shoot the ball. I mean, he's a special player. He really is. They got to enjoy this year because it's gonna go fast. So just enjoy.
Only 1 year with Braxton.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling. I mean, people did that with Marino. I think people just love Big Mike, and as soon as he came here, there was a love affair with him, and I feel like that's the same thing that's happened with Braxton. People are just drawn to him.
And I think he's helped our season ticket sales more than anything.
This is family.
Yeah.
Well, Tuesday night, Georgetown College, is it 7 o'clock over there?
I think it's at 7 o'clock, yeah.
7 o'clock, get over there. Trust me, folks, you won't be bored. If you go to an EKU basketball game, it is up and down. It's a lot of excitement. Three-pointers, pressing, steals. You never know what you're going to see, but it's definitely going to be exciting. So call up Ray, Raymond White, right?
Yep, call up Ray.
Office.
Call Ray.
Got to call Ray. It's a social media post I was saying.
Just call Ray.
Got to call Ray of the ticket office, get yourselves tickets, and come out and enjoy it. Like I said, we should be back at full capacity, and everything should be great now with the pandemic and everything. So
thanks for having me.
But yeah, no problem, man. It's always a joy to have you.
Thank you.
You're like an interviewer's dream. You have to ask like 2 questions, and he just runs with it.
Well, we got a good rhythm now. We've been doing this for 4 years now. We got a good rhythm together now.
Yeah, I remember talking to you the night you got hired.
Yeah.
So I was sitting at the parking lot of the Madison Southern baseball field calling you on my cell phone.
I remember that too.
But no, it's been great. You bring so much excitement, and your personality just wears off on everyone you meet, man. You were just so enthusiastic, and you exude love of the game and everything, and so it's a joy to be around you and be around your teams, and it's a lot of fun. So
I'm the luckiest guy in the world to be the head coach here. I tell people this all the time. I feel like I'm coaching the Boston Celtics. I mean, I'm a Kentucky guy. It's home for me, and I tell people this all the time. I'm gonna be the next Roy Kidd. Yeah. I'm gonna be here forever.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be right here with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, that'll wrap up this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. Like I said, Tuesday night, get out there, support the Colonels. If you buy season tickets or buy single game tickets or whatever you can, get out there. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. It is a lot of fun. This is not just a silly slogan that you guys picked out as something. This definitely defines who you are. So we'll be there Tuesday night, and we'll have live updates on our Twitter feed at Richmond R Sports. And afterwards, we'll have plenty of pictures, stories, and all that stuff on our Facebook page, which is Register Sports, and of course at richmondregister.com. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.
Do you want to sponsor the weekly Richmond Register Sports Show? Contact the Richmond Register, richmondregister.com, and of course on Facebook or Twitter. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.